Okay, so we've got the tent van pack. We have two sizes of hardback chairs. Piles of 7 or 8 are generally best unless it's a very high ceilinged van, which we do have a few of, and you might get 9 chairs. Important thing here, as you see, is strapping them in. Once you've got the piles of 7 or 8, so there should be, well, in this case, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8 piles of chairs. Get some strapping on to stop them tilting forward and causing damage when the van is moving. So as you can see, we've got some orange straps there, and we've attached those to roof fixing places and floor fixing places. There's hooks and eyes on both the floor and the ceiling. So moving on, basically we move on to the poles. So we should have 8 sets of poles for the two tents. That includes long legs, short legs, horizontals and rafters, and I would always slide those underneath. They should have some luggage straps. Ideally you put toes to end of the feet poles and just slide them under the chairs. The longest one's probably next to the wheel arches, and you probably get 1, 2 under each set of chairs, and there's 3 sets of chairs there, and then 2 next to the door, or on the left hand side there. After that I would put in the black chairs. Well, you can put the blue fencing on top of the red chairs. You can just see a bit of that creeping in on the side, but then build a platform out of the crates. So we've got the crates of the footstools, or the little wooden blocks, and then we've obviously got the crates that contain the joints. So make a platform, put the table on top of that platform, and then you can put the camping chairs on top of those, and that's a fairly effective base. You can see that the oh, here we go, you can sort of see that the table's been put on top, and maybe even some of the A-boards. I would also, well, what's new is that we've got these black folding chairs. I would put them on their side and put them right against the red chairs and braced in by the end of the wheel arch. That seems to be a good place for those, and you might see those later in another picture. The fence posts can be wrapped up either with the bungee or whatever, and again put down the side where there's on top of the other poles. I've got the picture on the side there, not very helpful. As you can see, once you've got the tents, all the canvas chairs in, then the tents can be put on top of the canvas chairs or the black chairs, you know, I mean, there's obviously variations in the pack here. You can't see everything, but we've got some rubber mats which are on top of the community tent. In some of the vans we don't have the community tent, or some of the gigs we don't have community tents, but there's a better picture in a minute of the community tent and where that goes. As you can see, the white canvas or the white tents can go on top. They tend to be quite light, and yeah, not too, that was probably the best place for them. That's a better picture. You can see the community tent on the bottom on the right hand side where those 6 wheels are, and that stretches down that side of the van with the rubber mats on top and its own sides and back, and that is the pop-up tent, 6 metre by 3 metre. We've wedged in the A-boards. That's another place for the A-boards if that's easier, and then there's a bit of space still left for the toolboxes, which have got pegs and bungees and chains in. That also shows you some fire extinguishers, bits and pieces as well, and shows you the blue fencing that's wrapped into the chairs. Oh, you can see the black chairs. I mean, actually they're on their ends, but I think they're better on their sides, braced against either the red chairs up to the wheel arch, and then piling canvas chairs on top of them. So as a final amendment, we haven't got the black box, which has got a lot of the box office stuff pictured there, but that would normally be left at the back. Sometimes there are torches left in the glove compartment, and keys are sometimes put on the van, you know, the main key to the van. So if there's padlocks and you're chaining up the chairs instead of putting them back in the van, then having the keys on the actual fob of the van key means you don't lose them. The black box and the cash, I mean, there is a kind of, well, certainly the Mercedes, a compartment underneath the front passenger seat, and that's quite a good place to put the money for people travelling back. Obviously it can be in the black box at the back. As I say, the black box being the first thing out is useful. There might be a couple of other things like extra cables, particularly if it's a venue that needs extra cables. There sometimes are extra speakers, because rather than the companies carrying extra speakers, sometimes it's useful to have them at these particular gigs. So if it's inclement weather, they can add a bit more sound into the tents themselves. with the Speakon cables. That's pretty much it, unless there's a generator, in which case there might have to be an oil can or some other bits. There might be a bag with some vests, either Heartbreak badged or those yellow security looking vests. Again, they could be just in an IKEA bag or in a little crate, which also go in at the back. So I hope I've covered most things. Sorry if I haven't, and hopefully... Oh, well, I suppose the reason why it's important to pack it this way was the vans come back and then go back out again. Sometimes they go directly from one venue to another, and if someone packs them badly, the next event manager has a right pickle trying to unpack it all and sort it all before they can actually really get the tents out and get them going. So consistency of pack and carefulness with the pack saves everyone a huge amount of time. So I really do appreciate if you can follow the basic principles, certainly with the red chairs at the back and being strapped in, and the poles underneath, and the chairs built on top of a platform, and canvases on top of that, and the tools and all the toolboxes and the black box at the back for accessibility. That will be brilliant. Thank you very much.